We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm the devil on your shoulder with locking horns.
Well, I am a Wendigo. I don't know what you expect of me.
Hi, Calvin.
Hi, Calvin. Hi, Nat.
Frank and Liz are not here right now. Not one bit.
As you may know, I am Akka. This is Hexxus.
Pre-sex is the Amon, the unknown one. You're laughing evil, I'm like.
He's like, and so.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hello.
Ha-ha!
So tonight, hello. Tonight, we are going to start off finishing up with Caligula.
By the way, welcome.
Oh, yeah, welcome.
Channel 9.
This is Channel 9 and Roots Bleed Red melding.
Eatin' Sundays.
Eatin' Sundays.
So, real fast, what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to go through Caligula. We're going to go through the scandal. And then we're going to start directing you guys to go over to our YouTube channel and our webpage, where we're actually going to have a bonus show because
Rodney Alcala died.
Rodney Alcala died yesterday, and we're going to go. We already covered him once before, or Liz and Frank did, and we're going to go back over him a little bit more.
Yeah, Roots Bleed Red already covered him during Valentine's Day because he's the dating game killer, and he died yesterday.
Yep.
He, son of a bitch, did not deserve to die how he did.
No, he died of natural causes. The thing is, if you get put on death row in California, you're going to die of natural causes. And that's pretty much what happened to him. He died of natural causes. Actually, I don't think he was on death row, though. I think he was caught. When was he caught again?
Oh, God. Well, I don't know. We'll go into it
figure
later.
It out. So.
What's up, Lucas? How are you doing?
Hey, hey, hey.
All right, so let's dive into this. So let's go kind of backtrack just a little bit because we got a little bit off track. So we're going to start with Caligula's claim to divinity.
By the way, guys, if you hear a AC unit, it's because our presence raises the temperature of the room, and the humans that we're possessing right now can't take it. So we have to keep them alive in order to stay here and do a show for you guys.
So, claims of divinity. Yes, guys, please share out. Please, please, please. Like, share, smash that bell. So, Caligula's claims to divinity. When several client kings came to Rome to pay their respects to him and argued about their nobility of descent, he allegedly cried out the Homeric line, "Let there be one Lord, one King." And in that situation, he was talking about himself.
You know,
yeah, we do have
I'll tell
AC
you what,
in hell.
the devil, he is real good about AC units. I'm not going to lie about that. Because I come from the 9th plane. And that's the coldest ring of hell. So, it's pretty good. It's pretty nice.
In 40 AD, Caligula began implementing very controversial policies that introduced religion into his political role. And by religion, we mean worship me.
Yeah, he was their religion.
He wanted to be the religion. That was it. That's who he was.
Submit, kneel, for I
Kneel
am God.
before me because I am God. That's such a good song.
It is. Honestly, if you guys... One of the inspirations for this video was Xdeo. And,
they do a song called I, Caligula.
yeah, it's so good. Go watch it.
Well, even when they go into Romulus and all of that.
Oh, well, Romulus is on the first album, actually.
It's a really good album still.
Yeah, it's all good. Which is funny if you guys ever listen to Xdeo. They're also the band Cataclysm, too. But Cataclysm is their political band, death metal band. Xdeo is their history, I guess, folk.
Hey, Cosmo! How are you doing?
Hey, Cosmo! Hello.
Thank you for joining us again. I can't wait to see your mask. I just saw Nutsack. I was trying to unclick his comment, and and then I see Nutsack.
Oh.
I'm just gonna go back to this now. So,
put up the thing for the YouTube.
Do we have it in
yes,
here?
Yes, I have it in there.
All right, guys. So,
Psycho Bunny. Right there.
Here you go. For the rest of the... That's the wrong one. Hold on.
Next one up. Next one up. Right there.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, why isn't it ticker?
It is.
There we go.
By the way, guys, go to our YouTube. Make sure.
Yes, please.
You can do live comments on the YouTube channel too as well, and we're encouraging you right now to go over to the YouTube because at the end of this, we're going to shut everything off for the Facebook side of things, and we're going to be strictly on YouTube and our website.
Oh, we're going to talk about Rodney Alcala.
Yep.
And that one, it's going to be a little less structured because we're going to actually find all the articles about his death.
Yeah.
All right, so... In 40, Caligula began implementing very controversial policies that introduced religion into his political role, naming himself as a god. He began appearing in public dressed as various gods and demigods. Which, I mean, if that doesn't scream, hey, I'm a fucking loony, I don't know what does.
Well, I mean...
Then again...
I don't know. There's some loonies who dress up on Sundays.
Well, he began appeering in public as Hercules.
Hercules.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, what? Apollo. Screaming nutsack! Right? That is creepy!
Yeah.
And he even would refer to himself as a god when meeting with politicians. He was referred to as Jupiter on occasion in public documents. A sacred precinct was set apart for his worship and Miletus in the province of Asia, and 2 temples were erected for worship of him in Rome. The Temple of Castor and Pollux on the Forum was linked directly to the imperial residence on the Florentine and dedicated to Caligula. He would appear there on occasion and present himself as a god to the public. Adam, that motherfucker is 12 cans short of a 6-pack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yep. So he technically went into the negative, is what you're saying. I see what you're saying here.
Why did he name himself after a planet? Well, actually, the planets are named after...
The planets are named after the
deities.
Gods.
So it was actually quite opposite. The planets were named after the deity that he claimed to be. Like Mercury, Venus. Okay.
And we got a lot of people watching right
now.
now.
One of the things that I gotta mention is he would go out in public as Venus. He was cross-dressing. Venus is a female.
When in Rome.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did there. Come on now. Come on.
A sacred precinct that was set. Okay, let's get back over where I was.
We're almost...
He would appear there on occasion and present himself as a god to the public. He would be like, kneel, for I am God. Not sure which god I am today. Huh? Would he stuff balloons in his top? Or his toga?
I don't know.
He's all...
Well, there goes his Wendigo boobs just bouncing around everywhere.
He's all, kneel!
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 For I have
God.
Wendigo boobs! Please, everyone, come over here! Look at me! I have giant Wendigo boobs! Hey, guys! Oh, yeah, no.
I'd have loved to have seen him as Birth of Venus coming out of a clamshell.
Just penis to Milo. What was, oh.
Penis de Milo?
I was going to say penis to Milo. What the hell? All right, we got to get back on track here.
That's a new... It's no longer Venus de Milo. It is Penis de Milo. So says Hexxus. Batshit crazy. Well... Not as much disguising himself as a female.
No, he was
or just presenting himself as a goddess.
No, it's not so much. It's not even that. It's just he was
batshit crazy.
Well, he was ritualistic is what he was doing. He was bringing... Every day was a ritual for him. Every single day was that. And that's how he operated. He brought down actual... in his head, he was bringing down the gods into himself and becoming a god and ruling over everybody.
Yes. Crazier than 10 shithouse rats. So... Oi! Excuse me. So... Let me get back over here. Caligula had the heads removed from various statues of gods located across Rome and replaced them with his own head. It is said that he wished to be worshipped as Neos Helios, which is the new sun. Indeed, he was represented as a sun god on Egyptian coins. Caligula's religious policy was a departure from that of his predecessors. According to Cassius Dio, living emperors would be worshipped as divine in the East, and dead emperors could be worshipped as divine in Rome. There was one difference in this. Augustus had the public worship his spirit on occasion, but, as Dio describes, this was an extreme act that emperors generally shied away from. Caligula took things a step further and had those in Rome, including senators, worshiping him as a tangible, living god.
Oh.
So,
He's not the only emperor who's ever done that, though. That's not actually... I mean, the emperors in Egypt and stuff like that, the pharaohs all did that stuff, too. I think even the Aztec and stuff like that in South America was all batshit crazy, and they all did basically the same stuff.
Can you imagine what the poor people in Rome had to deal with?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, sure.
I'm a stand-up philosopher. Oh, a bullshit artist. Sorry.
Kisa, what's up?
Hi,
Kisa! Inbreeding. That's the answer. Yes, they had to deal with
We
inbreeding.
had lots of inbreeding.
Hello!
I mean, sometimes things get mixed up in those Roman orgies, not gonna lie. I was there. Shit happens.
Alright, so Eastern policy! Caligula needed to quell several riots and conspiracies in the Eastern territories during his reign. Aiding him in his actions was his good friend Herod Agrippa, who became governor of the territories of Batanea and Trachonitis after Caligula became emperor in 37 AD.
Like I said before, man, you don't want to get Trachonitis. Not one bit.
Yeah, so basically, yes, the guy's just a nutcase.
He was a nutcase, and more than likely, from what we said in the last episode, it was probably brought on from him having a bad fever and almost dying, that causing brain damage.
Because his
seizures.
first 6 to 8 months, he actually seemed to be wanting to make improvements.
Yeah, and then he just went whoop out the door. He's all, I'm reaching for the stars right now. I'm gonna become a god.
The way we party is amateur compared to the Romans.
Yes, believe me, Adam, I was there. Oh my god, it's one of the ways I died. Oh my god.
But you're a demon.
Yeah, well, I was possessing people. My host died.
Fine.
Frickin' pussy, man. I swear to God. He couldn't even hold down his liquor.
That's a lot of wine, though.
Hey, wine is fine, but whiskey's quicker. So I tried telling him, and then all of a sudden I went and invented whiskey for him.
I was going to say, they didn't have whiskey then.
You know, I made it happen.
You had to go to Ireland.
I'm a frickin' demon. I can go to Ireland.
He was feeling the magic.
Oh.
Hey, don't tell Steve the cat that.
Yeah.
He's gonna get territorial.
All right, we need to get back on track here. We got something.
Was there cases of syphilis back then? If
yeah.
so, it's possible he had that. It would make you go completely crazy.
There are, I think.
Like Hitler. I mean, he was syphilitic.
No, I want to say that they actually have. When they've done digs and stuff like that, and they have actually examined. I think it's because it's in the bones too. Or, hey, yeah, kind of a couple times. Got the syphilis real bad. I got the I got the what was that word again?
Trachonitis.
I got the trachonitis real bad.
That was a location.
Then we named the city after it. Like, you don't even want to know the fire that was shooting out everywhere.
Hello, Alan Craven. How are you?
Hey.
Frank and Liz are no longer here.
Yep.
I am Akka. This is Hexxus.
Pre-Hexxus.
Priest.
Priest.
So, here we go.
Oh, wait, what was I saying? But they did studies on the bodies that they dug up, and I think they did show that that syphilis was around back then.
I'm sure it was.
So
the cause of tensions in the East was complicated, involving the spread of Greek culture, Roman law, and the rights of Jews in the empire. Caligula did not trust the prefect of Egypt, Aulus Avilis Flaccus. Flaccus had been loyal to Tiberius, had conspired against Caligula's mother, and had connections with Egyptian separatists. In 38 AD, Caligula sent Agrippa to Alexandria unannounced to check on Flaccus. According to Philo, the visit was met with jeers from the Greek population who saw Agrippa as the king of the Jews. As a result, riots broke out in the city. Caligula responded by removing Flaccus from his position and executing him. Flaccus. Trigonometry!
Kyle doesn't know much about trigonometry. She doesn't.
I don't. Tooth pulp. That's where you...
No,
yeah.
Yeah, I remember it was something along those lines.
Trigonometry. Hello. Flaccus. With 2 C's instead of the X's. Diagonally! So, In 39, Agrippa accused Herod Antipas, the tetrarch of Galilee and Perea, of planning a rebellion against Roman rule with the help of Parthia. Herod Antipas confessed and Caligula executed him. Agrippa was rewarded with his territories. Hexxus, Cosmo says hi.
Hello. Hello, Cosmo.
So, riots again erupted in Alexandria in 40 between Jews and Greeks. Jews were accused of not honoring the emperor. Disputes occurred in the city of Jamnia. Jews were angered by the erection of a clay altar and destroyed it.
Those damn erections.
In response, Caligula ordered the erection of a statue of himself in the Jewish temple of Jerusalem.
You guys have to understand that erections were a very bad epidemic during our time in Rome.
In the temple of Jerusalem.
The Roman Empire, wherever it touched, was Rome. Thank you. I was there. Okay? So that was Rome, too.
A demand
Jerusalem, Rome.
in conflict with Jewish monotheism. Did they play... They played ska in Jamnia. Hail Caesar! I bring a salad and ranch dressing.
Oh, now I'm hungry. I love Caesar salads.
My father Zeus was very displeased with with how the humans were behaving.
He wasn't.
I think he was like, yes, he was, but he also wanted
there.
to bang a lot of them.
He did. I hooked him up with some chicks.
Hercules, Hercules.
I did.
So you keep making me lose my spot. In this context, Philo wrote that Caligula regarded the Jews with most especial, that's what it says, especial suspicion, as if they were the only persons who cherished wishes opposed to his. Hexxus eats his Caesar salad with a knife, and only on Wednesdays.
Only on Wednesdays. Only on Wednesday. It's kind of a joke.
Hooked him up with the sirens, huh?
Well, yeah, well, sirens you mean by back alley chicks. Yeah.
I am the son of Zeus, brother to Hercules, brother to Perseus. Brother to Achilles' sister was Aphrodite Athena. My stepmother was Queen Harem. Nice. So, the governor of Syria, Publius Petronius, things are going to start floating here, guys, fearing civil war if the order were carried out, delayed implementing it for nearly a year. Agrippa finally convinced Caligula to reverse the order. However, are you cross-eyed?
Yeah.
However, Caligula issued a second order to have his statue erected in the Temple of Jerusalem.
He's good at erections, I'm not going to lie.
That sounded like a witch's spell. It did. Diagonally!
Diagonally. Is that what he said?
Petronius. So, however, Caligula did order the second statue to be erected in the Temple of Jerusalem in Rome. Another statue of himself of colossal size was made of gilt brass for the purpose of putting it into the Temple of Jerusalem. However, according to Josephus, because Bocephus, you know, Josephus, when the ship carrying the statue was still underway, news of Caligula's death reached Petronius. Thus, the statue was never installed. Here we go. Scandals. Hey, what's up, Tony?
Hi, Tony. What is I'm sorry. What is MM4WCL?
I don't know.
I'm just curious. I'm asking an honest question here.
If Claudia was trying to ever put a statue of himself in my country of Romania, I would impale him. Vlad Tepes. So, Philo of Alexandria and Seneca the Younger, contemporaries of Caligula, describe him as an insane emperor who was self-absorbed, short-tempered, killed on a whim, and indulged in too much spending and sex. Can there really be too much sex?
If you're Caligula, yes. Believe me, I was there.
Violence,
Sex and violence. Sex and violence. Sex and violence. Sex and violence.
He... Okay.
Oh!
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Much
Sorry, buddy. I
appreciated.
was like, what is that? But yeah, cool. That's
He
awesome.
did have a history of incest with his sister. Also, orgies and wine.
Yeah. Well,
Can't go wrong.
You can't. Can't go wrong with that.
So...
Except for syphilis. You get syphilis at orgies.
The syphilis.
When there's wine and stuff involved. And
So, this is one of Caligula's downfalls. He is accused
syphilis?
of sleeping with other men's wives and bragging about it, killing for mere amusement, deliberately wasting money on his bridge, intentionally causing starvation, and wanting a statue of himself in the Temple of Jerusalem for his own worship. Once, at some games at which he was presiding, he was said to have ordered his guards to throw an entire section of the audience into the arena during the intermission to be eaten by wild beasts because there were no more prisoners to be used and he was bored.
No, like, just don't wake up in the vomitorium. Sisyphus, I wish to vomit. Please take me to the vomitorium.
Wipe swapping! That is true. He did also blame early Christians for destroying rooms within Rome.
The wife swapping, it wasn't exactly wife swapping, it was basically just Caligula coming in
Wife grabbing.
And taking men's wives in front of them, and
Cucking
they
them.
weren't able, he turned them into cucks. And they were not able to do anything about it because he was the emperor.
So, the people within it are wild beasts. Well, that's what it was. Set the stage, Caligula. The people within it are wild beasts. But they love you, my lord.
They fear me. Hi, Miles.
Hey, Miles. How are you doing? Welcome. Oh. Thank you so much, Jeff. You rock. It's good to be the emperor.
It's good to be king.
Something dark side.
I bet all the men with they were very livid. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, then he'd have him killed.
That's pretty much what he did.
Yeah. So, while repeating the earlier stories, the later sources of Suetonius and Cassius Dio provide additional tales of insanity. They accuse Caligula of incest with his sisters, Agrippina the Younger, Drusilla, and Livilla. They say he prostituted them out to other men. They state that he sent troops on illogical military exercises, including trying to attack Neptune.
Oh, and stealing seashells.
And stealing seashells.
Which we found out
could
was
be
probably vaginas from the sea. That's what he was doing. He was stealing...
mermaid puss.
He was taking... God damn. He was taking Neptune's vaginas.
Neptune's mermaid puss. Anyway. Oh, that's disgusting.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was seashells.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's do the time warp again. Okay. Poor Ariel.
Under the sea.
Thank you so much.
Uh,
So, let's see here. They state that he sent troops for illogical missions and exercises, turned the palace into a brothel, and most famously planned or promised to make his horse incantations a consult, and actually appointed him as a priest. Hey, what do you think? Okay, yeah. I agree.
What do you think about the Roman Empire? What?
Really? Is that an insult?
History Roll Part 1. What do you think about the Roman Empire? What? Fuck it.
Nay!
Did he always have nay votes? I'm just curious.
Was there a lot of votes for nay?
Yeah, I think so.
The validity of these accounts is debatable. In Roman political culture, insanity and sexual perversity were often presented hand in hand with poor government.
It was hard to have sexual perversions, though, in the Roman Empire.
Oh, we're going to do a commercial before we get into his assassination and the aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
Go check out the Haunted Hill House, guys.
Hey.
Alright, so now we're going to get into the assassination and the aftermath. Caligula's actions as emperor were described as being especially harsh to the Senate, to the nobility, and the equestrian order. According to Josephus, these actions led to several failed conspiracies against Caligula. Eventually, officers within the Praetorian Guard, led by Cassius Chaerea, succeeded in murdering the emperor. The plot is described as having been planned by 3 men, but many in the Senate, army, and equestrian order was said to have been informed of it and involved in it. The situation had escalated when in 40 AD Caligula announced to the Senate that he planned to leave Rome permanently and move to Alexandria in Egypt, where he hoped to be worshipped as a living god. The prospect of Rome losing its emperor and thus its political power was the final straw for many. Hi, Dustin!
Hi, Dustin!
How are you tonight? Hello.
Hello.
So this was said to be the last straw. That's it. They were like, okay, this guy is just, you know. He was actually part of the Caesars, to be honest. So, let me get back on track. The prospect of losing it was the final straw. Such a move would have left both the Senate and the Praetorian Guard powerless to stop Caligula's repression and debauchery. With this in mind, Chaerea convinced his fellow conspirators, who included Marcus Vinicius and Lucius Annius Venetianus, I got that, to put their plot into action quickly. According to Josephus, Chaerea had political motivations for the assassination. Suetonius sees the move and Caligula calling Chaerea derogatory names. Caligula considered him effeminate because of a weak voice and for not being firm with tax collection. Caligula would mock him with names like Priapus and Venus. Priapus, is that the god
Priapism is the one that doesn't go down. Yep, that's very
that's
much that.
the god of erections.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But wouldn't that be Penis de Milo? So on the 24th of January in 41 AD, Cassius, Chaerea, and other guardsmen accosted Caligula as he addressed an acting troupe of young men beneath the palace. During a series of games and dramatics being held for the divine Augustus, details recorded on the events vary somewhat from source to source, but they agree that Chaerea stabbed Caligula first, followed by a number of conspirators. Suetonius records that Caligula's death resembled that of Julius Caesar. He states that both the elder Gaius Julius Caesar, which is Julius Caesar, and the younger Gaius Julius Caesar, which is Caligula, were stabbed 30 times by conspirators led by a man named Cassius. Cassius Longinus and Cassius Chaerea, respectively. What's up, Mikey? Is that the Spanish version? No. They're just the Latin. Oh, close enough. By the time Caligula's loyal Germanic guard responded, loyal, and the emperor was already dead. Germanic guard, stricken with grief and rage, responded with a rampage attack on the assassins, conspirators, innocent senators, and bystanders alike. These wounded conspirators were treated by the physician Acreon. So the crypto porticus, which is the underground corridor beneath the imperial palaces in Palatine Hill, where this event took place, was discovered by archaeologists pretty recently in 2008. What's up, Siren?
Hey, Siren.
What's up, love? How are you?
Mm-hmm.
So, the Senate attempted to use Caligula's death
Oh, shit. Ashley, Siren, we got you.
We love you, Siren.
You're always welcome here.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, we'll talk about that a little bit later, too.
Wow. Natalie, look what Siren just said.
So... No, I know you didn't. I know you didn't.
Wow.
And we intentionally make it a point to keep things that are private, so that things like that don't happen, but apparently other people don't want to be respectful.
Exactly. But oh well, on with the show. We'll talk about it later, Siren.
Well, if they have something to say to me, they can fucking say it to me, instead of being a fucking pussy. So,
Oh, sorry. I, didn't mean to touch I really didn't mean to touch your hip this time. I actually just put my hand there.
All right, so...
My bad. I'm sorry.
The Senate attempted to use Caligula's death as an opportunity to restore the Republic. Chaerea tried to persuade the military to support... Wow. Cool. Good to know. To support the Senate. The military, though, remained loyal to the idea of imperial monarchy. Yeah, I know Hexxus is getting all fresh over here. God gotta say that for later, Hexxus. God.
I would stick a tongue out, but when I'm possessing people,
He has no mouth.
There's no mouth. I have a beer here and I can't even drink it right now.
He's gonna have to make a hole. You're gonna have to make a hole in that for a straw. God damn it. So, the military, though, remained loyal to the idea of imperial monarchy. Uncomfortable with lingering imperial support, the assassins sought out to kill Caligula's wife, Caesonia, and killed their younger daughter, Julia Drusilla, by smashing her head against a wall. They were unable to reach Caligula's uncle, Claudius, after a soldier, Gratus, found Claudius hiding behind a palace curtain. He was spirited out of the city by a sympathetic faction of the Praetorian Guard to their nearby camp. Claudius became emperor after procuring the support of the Praetorian Guard. Claudius granted a general amnesty conspiracy including Charia about the conspiracy, a general amnesty, although he executed a few junior officers involving the conspiracy, including Cassius Charia. According to Suetonius, Caligula's body was placed under turf until it was burned and entombed by his sisters. He was buried within the mausoleum of Augustus in 410. During the sack of Rome, the ashes in the tomb were scattered. So, here we go. Legacy!
Siren, real fast, where are you on? Which channel are you on?
I think she's on Roots Bleed Red.
Are you on Roots Bleed Red? Natalie, she's on Roots Bleed Red.
We love you, Siren. You're amazing. We got your back, girl. Always. The facts and circumstances. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. She said yes. The facts and circumstances of Caligula's reign are mostly lost to history. Only two sources contemporary with Caligula have survived: the works of Philo and Seneca. Philo's work on the embassy to Gaius and Flaccus gives some details on Caligula's early reign, but mostly focus on events surrounding the Jewish population in Judea and Egypt with whom he sympathizes. Seneca's various works give mostly scattered anecdotes on Caligula's personality. Seneca was almost put to death by Caligula in AD 39, likely due to his association with conspirators. At one time, there were detailed contemporaneous histories on Caligula, but they are now lost. Additionally, the historians who wrote them are described as biased, either overly critical or praising of Caligula. Nonetheless, these lost primary sources, along with the works of Seneca and Philo, were the basis of surviving secondary and tertiary histories on Caligula written by the next generations of historians. A few of the contemporaneous historians are also known by name: Flavius Rusticus,
that makes me laugh every time.
Claudius Rufus. Both wrote condemning histories on Caligula that are now lost. Flavius Rusticus was the friend of Seneca, who was known for historical embellishment and misrepresentation. And Claudius Rufus was a senator involved in the assassination of Caligula. Caligula's sister, Agrippina the Younger, wrote an autobiography that certainly included a detailed explanation of Caligula's reign, but it too is lost. Agrippina was banished by Caligula for her connection to Marcus Lepidus.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
Yes, this is true. That is a funny name.
It is, right? right, Kisa? That is a
It was
very
Kisa.
funny name.
It was both Kisa and Donald.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Cosmo.
Cosmo, sorry, Cosmo.
Now where am I? Because I got lost with the names.
Vladicus.
So Caligula's sister, Agrippina the Younger, wrote an autobiography that certainly included a detailed explanation of Caligula's reign, but it too is lost. Agrippina was banished by Caligula for her connection to Marcus Lepidus, who conspired against him. The inheritance of Nero, Agrippina's son, and the future emperor, was seized by Caligula.
Oh, I do look like a cat. Look at this. When I go down like this, the cheekbones look like whiskers. And then,
Kitty.
oh, wow, that's cool.
You're doing it to me.
Sorry.
So, Gatilicus, a poet, produced a number of flattering writings about Caligula, but they are also lost. The bulk of what is known about Caligula comes from Suetonius and Cassius Dio. Suetonius wrote his history on Caligula 80 years after his death, while Cassius Dio wrote the history over 180 years after Caligula's death. Cassius Dio's work is invaluable because it alone gives a loose chronology of Caligula's reign.
Sorry, it's hard to breathe in this mask.
A handful of other sources add a limited perspective on Caligula. Josephus gives a detailed description of Caligula's assassination. Tacitus provides some information on Caligula's life under Tiberius in a now lost portion of his annals. Tacitus gave a detailed history of Caligula. Pliny the Elder's natural history has a few brief references to Caligula. There are few surviving sources on Caligula, and none of them paints Caligula in a very favorable light. The paucity of sources has resulted in significant gaps in modern knowledge of the reign of Caligula. Little is written on the first 2 years of his reign. Additionally, there are only limited details on his later significant events, such as the annexation of Mauritania, Caligula's military actions in Britannia, which we all know is actually
fighting Neptune's
going
vaginas.
after Neptune and
his vagina,
picking up the seashells.
The conch. I've got the conch. Wow. Don't worry, Ashley. We're not rude.
No.
We're actually really nice people who do we actually put effort into our content. And, yeah.
And we love you. You still look wicked, Hexxus, as do you, Akka.
I look like a kitty cat right now.
She's all, take it off!
I can't. This just, I have to unpossess the human, and then it all goes back in, and it's insane.
Caligula sounds like Roman for calligraphy. So, and his feud with the Roman Senate, according to legend, during his military actions in Britannia, Caligula grew addicted to a steady diet of European sea eels.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which led to
their... Is there anything that's not phallic that this guy doesn't have an obsession with?
Which led to their Latin name, Coluber Caligulensis. Yay! Aw, thank you. Appreciate it. So his health. All surviving sources except for Pliny the Elder characterize Caligula as insane. However, it is not known whether they are speaking figuratively or literally. Additionally, given Caligula's unpopularity among the surviving sources, it is difficult to separate fact from fiction. Recent sources are divided into attempting to ascribe a medical reason for his behavior, citing possibilities of encephalitis, epilepsy, or even meningitis. The question of whether Caligula was insane, especially after his illness during his early reign? Really?
Hmm? No. He's blocked.
During his early reign, my brain just stopped. Okay. The question of whether he was insane, especially after the illnesses during his early reign, which, if you guys remember, he actually had a very unexplained high fever, which they thought he was possibly poisoned, but they're not 100% sure. And they do kind of attribute that to his sudden turn from being this, like, hey, I want Rome to be awesome, to, fuck you all, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
The question of whether... Okay, so the question actually remains unanswered. Philo of Alexandria, Josephus, and Seneca state that Caligula was insane, but described this madness as a personality trait that came through experience.
Just keep going. We'll deal with it later.
Tom, you can leave. Bye. So... It sounds to me, I mean, after a lot of the abuse that he handled, a lot of the death from his family, him being called a traitor, him being called, you know, and sent...
PTSD, everything, and it can actually drive you to, well, the fevers and all that, it can drive you to schizophrenia, to all this other stuff.
Well, there's a difference between psychopathy... Hi, Derek, how are you doing?
Derek.
There's a difference between psychopathy, sociopathy. Psychopathy is born and it's innate in you. Sociopathy is a result of experiences within life. And it's very, very possible that he was sociopathic. It's also extremely possible that the narcissism came from a place of insecurity, actually.
Well, the narcissism was also probably put there too because he was given everything in life, regardless whether his mother and all them were exiled and killed. He was still given everything.
Well, yeah, Tiberius.
And he believed that he was owed everything, regardless. Let's take all this away from him, everything right now. Let's just take away that he was a murderer, a perverted, you know, whatever. It took. He was still very much a huge narcissist. So. Because everything was handed right to him, and he believed he had a right to everything in the world. That's exactly who Caligula was. All the emperors back then were like that.
Well, but also Tiberius taking him over to Capri. And you think that, like, everyone thought, oh, he's going to kill him, he's going to make him a servant. But no, he, in a weird way, even though it was still like, you know, still punishment in a way, he brought him into the fold.
Yeah.
And it was almost like a big middle finger to the rest of the family going, you see, he is now my son. This is now mine, and I will mold him how I want to.
Oh, exactly.
And he left he left it to him. He left the whole kingdom. Stephen P. Kitty Cat!
Ah, Stephen P. Kitty Cat! I'm sorry, my human is having a wardrobe malfunction. And his ear keeps popping out.
Hello.
Oh, he's got a pity pit.
Ah, Pitty Pit. Wait, come back. Pitty Pit.
The pity pit.
Oh, come on. Hello, Mr. Cat. So, Seneca states that Caligula became arrogant, angry, and insulting once he became emperor, and uses his personality flaws as examples his readers can learn from. According from Josephus, power made Caligula incredibly conceited and led him to think that he was God.
Well, narcissism. That's it right there.
Sweet, we got 2 naked people in here. I love it.
No, the narcissism right there is literally a megalomaniac. It all goes together.
Exactly. So, Philo of Alexandria reports that Caligula became ruthless after nearly dying of an illness, in his 8th month of his reign in 37 AD. Juvenal reports he was given a magic potion that drove him insane. Suetonius said that Caligula suffered from falling sickness.
What was
which
falling sickness again?
Is epilepsy.
Yeah. He did tricks and acrobats. Whee! And he shook a lot.
We don't know what to call this, so we call it the falling sickness.
He's got the jugular's disease. Just juggling balls all the time.
Here, take some cocaine for that.
Actually, I'm sorry. He probably did have that because of all the Roman orgies. He was probably juggling a lot of balls. But we need a snare drum and a freaking hi-hat.
We do. So, modern historians have theorized that Caligula lived with a daily fear of seizures. Despite swimming being part of imperial education, Caligula could not swim. Epileptics are discouraged from swimming in open waters because unexpected fits could lead to death because a timely rescue would be difficult. Caligula reported taking to the full moon. Reportedly talked to the full moon. Epilepsy was long associated with the moon. Suetonius describes Caligula as sickly looking, skinny, pale. He was tall, very pale, ill-shaped. His neck and legs were very slender. His eyes and temples hollow. His brows broad and knit. His hair thin. The crown on his head the crown of his head was balding. The other parts of his body were much more covered in hair. He was crazy, both in body and mind, being subject, when a boy, to falling sickness. When he arrived at the age of manhood, he endured fatigue tolerably well. Occasionally, he was liable to faintness, during which he remained incapable of any effort. That's a quote, by the way. Based on scientific instructions of his official painted busts, or reconstructions rather, of his official painted busts, Caligula had brown hair, brown eyes, and fair skin. Well, we all know what lead paint does.
Yes.
That's true.
Who's on PBDC right now? The YouTube.
Nat.
Oh, Natalie, yay!
Stretch nuts. That needs to be a new wrestler name.
I think it is.
I once heard that Caligula's insanity might be due to the fact that Romans used lead-lined jars to store wine. Any thoughts? Yes. That does definitely cause a lot of negative issues, including various illnesses, which actually could explain his falling sickness, too.
Yeah.
We'd have to rename him Bubbles.
I named Bubbles.
Well, we all know what lead paint does. I assume it's similar. Yes.
Yeah.
So basically a trash fire.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you know that the Egyptians used to kill by pulling parts of your brain through your nose with a hanger?
Well, they didn't, it wasn't that they killed that way, Derek. That's how they
embalmed.
Well, not just embalmed, but when they were mummifying people.
Yeah.
They would.
That's embalming.
Well, I get that, but they would go and crack the skull from your nose, and then put a little drill with a little hook at the end of it, and just turn your brain into goo, and then pull it out, and then that's how they did it.
So, some modern historians think that Caligula suffered from hyperthyroidism, which would cause him to be extremely thin.
Wouldn't that also cause you to be bipolar and all this other stuff too?
No, not necessarily. It does help. It does really mess with body temperature regulation.
He said jelly brains, right? That's pretty much what they did.
It does mess with your body temperature regulation a lot, but it actually makes you warmer.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
Let's see. This diagnosis, but I'm still thick.
Hey.
You nice. You nice. So, this diagnosis is mainly attributed to Caligula's irritability and his stare, as described by Pliny the Elder. So possible rediscovery of burial site. On the 17th of January in 2011, police in Nemi, Italy, announced that they believed they had discovered the site of Caligula's burial after arresting a thief caught smuggling a statue which they believed to be the emperor. The claim has been met with skepticism by Cambridge historian Mary Beard. That's what we got, guys.
All right, so what we're going to do now...
We are...
You see the YouTube thing right here going across. Go to Psycho Bunny Death Cult YouTube. So it's PBDC TV. I have the thing saved here too, on the banners.
Give me a moment.
So, go here. Go to our webpage. Did I put it up here?
We're gonna drop off.
We're gonna play an outro real fast. Go to our YouTube channel right now and go to our website. And we'll give you special instructions for that. To get into our website, you have to go to the members only tab.
Run, rabbit, run.
All lowercase. Run, rabbit, run is our password to get in to have a live chat on our webpage. And our YouTube channel, you can just go right in there and start having a live chat there. But we're gonna go ahead and do that right now.
Give us a moment. I'm gonna grab something real fast. We're gonna play this intermission from Psychomantium.
Hi, it's me, Nix, the Psychomantis, coming to you live from Psychomantium 13. Join us here throughout the week for all things in audio, visual, and literary content. You can also find us on the World Wide Web at psychomantium13.com. Join Psychomantium 13 and enter the weird.
This is Mr. Applewhite speaking. There is nothing wrong with your device. Join me here on Psycho Bunny DC. A delightfully dreadful consternation of horror content. Use your head and free your mind.
I thought we were in here.
Okay.
Woo! Let me grab these banners down.
There we go. We're back.
Woo,
Now we can get
woo.
uncensored a little bit here.
Now we good. Cuss like a motherfucker.
Just a smidge.
Just a fucking smidge.
I gotta get this cloak off. I am burning out.
So, okay, so tonight, after the death yesterday of Rodney Alcala, what's up, Siren? Woo woo!
Hey.
Hey hey! Hey hey!
All right.
Woo, woo.
Share
Okay.
out, please, guys.
Share it out. See if we can get people in here.
Hi, Kisa.
Oh,
Let's do
cool!
this.
Over on the website. Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Siren's over here.
I had to get that cloak off. It was like tearing my arms up.
Steve's over on there.
Yay.
All right, so this is going to be pretty interesting. We talked before about Rodney Alcala. And I guess we'll do like a really quick kind of overview about him. I was like, oh, what are you wearing?
I took the cloak off. I had to. It was hurting my arms here real bad.
And so, here we go. Let's pull that up.
But I have my vest on.
I like your vest.
Yep.
Meow, Steve. Meow.
Meow, Shay, meow. All right.
Woo.
Just a recap here real fast.
So, Rodrigo Jacques Alcala Bacour. Rodney James Alcala was an American serial killer and rapist who was sentenced to death in California for 8 murders committed in the state between 1977 and 1979. So he died yesterday, July 24th, 2021. I am going to jump on something real fast. Sorry for my not being so awesome here. No thanks. Woo woo. PBDC TV. And here we go. We are live. Oderint to metuant. Okay, so he received an additional sentence of 25 years to life after pleading guilty to 2 homicides committed in New York in 1971 and 1977. Alcala's true number of victims remains unknown. They could be much higher. Alcala compiled a collection of more than 1,000 photographs of women, teenage girls, boys, many in sexually explicit poses. In 2016, he was charged with the 1977 murder of a woman identified in one of his photos. Alcala is known to have assaulted one other photographic subject, at least. The police have speculated that others could have been raped or murdered as well, because many of them are missing.
Sorry, I had to put in there. Someone, the body took over and was tagging things here. Uh-oh. I am that guy.
Love you, girl.
Yay.
And so, oh, wrong one. Let's
Uh-oh.
save. Yeah, save.
Save. Save.
Save. Yes, just fucking save.
Oh, we're technically done with Caligula.
That's why I was just trying to get rid of it for now.
Okay.
So, okay, here we go. Prosecutors have said that Alcala toyed with his victims, strangling them until they lost consciousness, and then waiting until they revived, sometimes repeating this process several times before finally killing them. One police detective described Alcala as a killing machine, and others have compared him to Ted Bundy, which I think he was much worse.
He was also a dating machine. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
In case you guys didn't know, if you don't remember from our last show visiting Alcala,
actually,
he was actually in the midst of a spree when he went on the dating show.
Because we're showing it to YouTube.
We can actually show this.
We can actually show you the date. There's actual video of him on. Just go to the other YouTube channel.
Okay, that's what I was doing.
Sorry. Yeah, there's actual video of this.
You guys
him
want to see
on the
something
dating
cool?
game. Is it this one? I think it's that one.
Alright, here we go. So guys, let's check this out. Now that we can actually do shit like this without getting popped by the Zucker douche.
Yeah. But he is actually on the dating game. That's why he's called the dating game killer.
Condemned LA murderer Rodney Alcala gets chosen as winning bachelor on the dating game on September 13th, 1978.
The dating capital of the world. It's the dating game. Here's the star of our show, your host, Jim Lyons.
Hey! Thank you.
much. Thank you. And welcome to the dating game. And we'll get right underway. It's time to meet our first 3 eligible bachelors for game number 1. And here they are. Good luck, gentlemen. Well, let's see. Bachelor number 1 is a successful photographer who got his start when his father found him in the dark room at the age of 13, fully developed. Between takes, he might find
This fidelity's not going to be very good.
Yeah, sorry.
Please welcome Rodney Alcala.
There he is.
God love him.
That is a straight up
And sending a
sociopath
young
right
lady for
there.
game number 1, and here she is. Here is a young lady with a wealth of experience. She once earned a living massaging feet, but she quit when her boss suggested that she work her way up.
What the?
She taught school in
What?
Phoenix, Arizona. Now she's here to educate our 3 bachelors in the art
That's something
of
you used to
war.
say on TV?
Welcome, if you will, sensational Cheryl Bradshaw.
And it's always a
Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Don't sit down yet. Just a
Fucking
minute.
Cheryls.
Want to make sure everything is straight. You relax? You feel okay? All right. You know there are 3 bachelors over there. There'll be 1, 2, and 3. Ask them anything you like to find out more about them, except their name, age, occupation, or income. Okay? And we're going to start by having them say hello to you and see how they sound. Number 1, would you say hello to Cheryl, please?
We're going to have a great time together, Cheryl.
Did you see the look in his eyes?
Bachelor number 1,
Yes.
what's your best time?
The best time is at night, nighttime,
Why do you say that?
because that's the only time there is.
The only time? What's wrong
The
with
nighttime is the
morning,
right time.
afternoon?
Well, they're okay, but nighttime's when it really gets good. Then you're really ready.
I'm a drama teacher, and I'm going to
course you
audition
are.
each of you
Wow, our
for
views are going
my
up.
private class.
Some people are watching
Bachelor
this, not
number
commenting.
1. You're a dirty old man. Take it.
Come on, over here.
What the hell? I've only seen pictures of him on the dating. I didn't know.
He was
Bachelor
charismatic.
number
Oh,
1.
they all are.
I am serving you for dinner.
Yes.
What are you called?
Yeah,
and
Natalie, he was a creep.
What do you look like?
I'm called the banana,
Hi, Keith.
and
Oh, Keith.
I look really good.
Can you be a little more descriptive?
Peel me.
Oh my god. He's on the pull you. Your skin off your face.
Later, Bachelor 1. Later.
Welcome back to the dating game. And Cheryl, we have reached the moment of truth, as we call it. You heard from the bachelors. You got some great
wanted to hear the
dramatic
other guys.
presentations, some good answers. And now,
He murdered
I'm gonna
them.
ask you a question.
That's how he
Will that
won.
be Bachelor number 1, Bachelor number 2, or Bachelor number 3? Who
Oh, I
gets
see
the
why
pick?
he chose her.
Well, I
Or
like
why she
bananas,
chose him.
So
She
I'm
didn't see
taking
him.
one.
Number 1.
They only go by their voice.
All right.
That's true.
Well, there they go. However, you did leave one remaining, and this is your date, and I want to tell you something about him, Cheryl. He's a skydiver, so he's got a lot of nerve. He's into motorcycling. He's also a fine photographer. Say hello to Rodney Alcala. Rodney, come on and say hello. Congratulations, Rod. You did it with the one answer. Well, as far as I can see, Cheryl and Rodney, it looks like the 2 of you may be involved in some sort of racket. So we're going to have you take to the court. Oh, first, you'll receive tennis lessons from expert Naomi Besa of the famous Kirkwood Tennis Club. That starts. And
These
you'll
are actual
see the
prizes?
going off the court. And to make sure you both look as professional as you'll become, complete tennis outfits will be provided.
I want to
by
say
Bill
they
Dowling's
never
Tennis
managed to
Shop.
date because I think
Well, I'll
he.
explain in a
Like
second,
part of the
actually.
racket set.
We got
Then it's
that.
off
Oh,
to
yeah.
Magic Mountain, one of America's greatest and most complete amusement parks, with plenty of excitement to challenge any daring dater, like the Revolution.
missed the log
that'll help you
jammer.
turn the town
He
upside
took it out.
down. And of course,
There's
the
Revolution.
roller coaster.
Woo!
Magic
There's
Mountain
Colossals.
is a half an
Colossus,
hour
I mean.
north of Hollywood, California. So have fun playing tennis. Thank you, Rodney. Thank you. Okay. You can go relax, meet each other, say hello, get acquainted, and they'll be back. And before we begin our next game, let's find out what runners-up will receive today from Johnny G.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
So, and no, your jokes aren't bombing.
No, they're not. We're just
Paying attention because we have never, like, we've seen a few clips here and there Okay, so yes, that's actually what we were going to get into.
I think he got weird. Hey, Mikey! Mikey!
So they went backstage and they started talking. And she says that they were starting to plan their date and what they were going to do and how they were going to like try to meet up a little bit beforehand. And he got pushy.
Yeah.
And it made her really, really uncomfortable. And so the date never happened. Now she does, but she didn't realize how lucky she truly got.
Oh, yeah.
He was in the midst of actual berserker mode at that moment.
Yeah.
Which is weird that he was able to, like, contain himself so well.
Well, I got a feeling, though, their date would have been weird, but with that, there was too much coverage for her to just go... I think he was smart enough... Well, he's the smartest serial killer of all time.
167 IQ.
He knew enough that if he killed her, they would have came back to him. It would have. But what kept... I think it was just... He just got pushy and weird, and she's all, no, we're not doing this.
So I'm going to go through a really quick little snippet about him. So, born Rodrigo Jacques Alcala Bucar, later named himself Rodney James Alcala, on August 23rd, 1943 in San Antonio, Texas. He died yesterday, July 24th, 2021, age 77 in Corcoran, not too far from us, California, of natural causes. This bastard did not deserve to die of natural causes. Was he on death row?
Or no, he was never on death row.
He was on death row.
Oh.
He was sentenced to death and never was killed.
That's, like I said, if you get sentenced to death in California, you're just going to sit on death row. You will die, obviously, of natural causes.
So, other names that he went by, nicknames, and aliases, was Rod Alcala. Not super creative.
Please tell me Hot Rod is one of them.
John Berger, and the dating game killer. Now, the John Berger and John Berger we did touch base on in a previous episode. Mm-hmm. So if you guys would like, go ahead and touch base on it. Was actually this year's episode for Valentine's Day that we did.
Yep.
So his years active were 1968 to 1979. Rod Steel Thrust. Sitting here drinking a concoction for health. Beer.
Me? I'm not.
No, him.
Oh.
Convictions. Battery. Kidnapping. Probation violation.
Wait, he wrote Battery by Metallica?
Yes. Rape. Providing cannabis to a minor, and, of course, murder. Criminal charges, 1 count of battery, 1 count of kidnapping, violation of probation, 2 counts of rape, 1 count of providing cannabis to a minor, 5 counts of first-degree murder, even though there is a possibility that there are up to 130 murders that he committed.
Mm-hmm.
The penalty... The sentence was death, and it was never carried out. Rod Steelmember.
Holy crap. Our numbers are going up. We have 9 people in here right now.
This is cool.
This is actually kind of cool.
So, I like this. If you guys ever get a chance, it's a nice little, cleansing thing.
If you really need a cheap cleanse, Taco Bell or, what's the other one? KFC. $5.
That's
man.
the MSG.
Yeah.
So, details. Victims at least 8, but possibly up to 130. Span of crimes, 1968 to 1979. And it was in the United States. So, confirmed California, New York, and Wyoming. And possibly in Washington as well. He was apprehended on July 24th. Really?
Hmm? What?
He was apprehended July 24th in 1979, and he died July 24th, 2021.
Well, maybe that's the fate stepping in and saying, you know, this guy needs to die now. We're done.
Pretty much. Imprisoned in Corcoran. So...
One thing
we did cover a lot of this previously.
we just wanted to touch base on this and say, hey, this is what happened.
Well, what I would like to do here is actually get into his death now.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
So here we go. I'm going to pull up a few news reports. Here's an older one, I think.
No, that's recent.
Okay, so here we go. Rodney Alcala, serial killer who murdered Orange County girl, dies on death row. Serial killer Rodney James Alcala, sentenced to death for the 1979 kidnapping and murder of 12-year-old Robin Christine Samso in Orange County, died of natural causes on Saturday morning, July 24th. Prisoner officials say he was 77. Alcala died at 1:34 a.m. in a hospital near Corcoran Prison in Central California, said the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. He was convicted 3 times of killing Samso. How is that possible?
3 separate trials, probably.
Yeah. The first 2 convictions were... Oh, that's how. The first 3 convictions first 2 convictions were reversed on appeals. His death brought some measures of relief and joy to those outraged by a predatory monster who not only sexually assaulted and killed women, but also derived a sick pleasure from watching them suffer. And we're going to do this. I want to show you one of his victims. This is the girl from Orange County, from Huntington Beach. She was only 12, guys.
Sick bastard.
He kidnapped her, tortured her, strangled her, brought her back from the brink of death, and then murdered her after raping her. This man did not deserve to die of natural causes. It should have been painful. So, Father Time finally did what the courts wouldn't. Steve Mack, an Huntington Beach police detective, who had the case against one of the appeals, said on Saturday, "Let's see him appeal this." Former Orange County Senior Deputy District Attorney Matt Murphy, who I'm going to give a little bit of a kudos to. I was the main victim and main witness in a court case. And Matt Murphy defended me.
That's cool.
And he kicked ass. He put my perpetrator in prison. That man is amazing. So he prosecuted Samso's slaying and said that Alcala's death was long overdue. I can only hope that it brings some solace to the families of the women who he murdered, Murphy said. Alcala earned the moniker of the dating game killer because he appeared on the TV show during his deadly rampage in the 1970s. Murphy described a man who fit much of the typical profile of the Bachelor contestants hoping to win a date with the Bachelorette. Alcala was handsome, freakishly smart, and an excellent athlete, raised in a good home. He's one of the rare serial killers who didn't have a fucked up upbringing.
Actually, there's a good majority of them that actually didn't have a bad upbringing. They're just messed up people.
Hexxus came for his soul.
I did.
Natalie. Right now, many pineapples and shenanigans are taking place. No, not the small one. Bigger.
Hitler. Come on now. The small one, really? Go get the big one.
He will rot in hell for his crimes.
Yep.
Absolutely. here we go. He had every opportunity in life, and instead he enjoyed raping and murdering, Murphy said. So much so that Alcala would choke his victims unconscious, allow them to come to, and then gleefully observe their fear and suffering before killing them. The torture would often last for hours, Murphy said. He was the cruelest, most sadistic murderer I ever prosecuted in 17 years. Samso's sister, Taryn Mays, said in a Facebook post on Saturday that Alcala's death was the best birthday present for my mom, who died in 2019. Her husband, Harry, died in 2011. Today we received the best news ever. Alcala died. I know my mom is dancing up in heaven. He can't appeal this one. My sister can finally rest in heaven, literally, now. No prisoners have been executed in California since 2006. Governor Newsom ordered a moratorium on the death penalty in 2019.
Fucking Newsom, man.
In addition to the Samso killing, Alcala was convicted of or pled guilty to 6 other murders for women. Authorities believe he was responsible for perhaps scores of homicides, up to 130. Though he had been in jail or prison since 1979, Alcala had been tried, convicted, and retried for 5 sexual assault murders in Southern California during his time in prison.
Take Mikey's thing down.
What?
You have Mikey's stuck up there.
Oh, sorry.
Siren. I bring up sirens.
I can't believe how many serial killers have graced our great country. Why does the government keep them hush hush?
Well, it's also what Natalie said right here to her response.
So, it's a non-glorification policy, but at the same time, people need to know that there's serial killers on the loose. Also, Newsom.
Newsom, yeah. At any one time, there is in the United States, there's about between 30 and 40 serial killers on the loose right now.
They should have put them in San Quentin.
You can't do anything about them because their crimes are so random. You can't. It's hard to find the pattern.
Yeah.
You know, lust killings and stuff like that just happen in the spur of the moment. You can kind of find those people out, but people who put thought and effort into murdering somebody and getting stuff, out of. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead. Finish.
Lost my train of thought. Sorry.
I'm sorry. So Stephen P. Kitty Cat says, also, law enforcement often sits on details because they don't want the killer to know how much they do or do not know. Also, it weeds out false confessions, which is crazy, but it actually happens. And it's pretty common. It's very common.
Look at the West Memphis 3.
Henry Lee Lucas.
Texas wanted to offload a lot of.
Yes, but
he was willing to take.
That's a false. What he's saying is the crazy people who intentionally false confess because they want the notoriety. Henry Lee Lucas.
It's weird because people, when they actually get put in that stressful situation and interrogating, it's like a whole instinctual thing just pops in their head and they just want to get out and go home. So they're forced. They almost force themselves just to confess to things that they never did.
Yeah.
That was the West Memphis 3.
So, in 1980, he was convicted of murdering Samso, a Huntington Beach girl, raped and killed by Alcala after he lured her from the beach. She rode her bicycle to ballet lessons by promising to take her picture. He promised to take her picture, and she had been riding her bicycle to ballet lessons. That was phrased weird. The conviction was overturned in '86 on grounds that the jury had been improperly informed of previous sex crimes committed by Alcala, which shouldn't fucking matter. That year he was retired and again convicted in Orange County, but that conviction was also overturned. This was because a witness wasn't allowed to substantiate Alcala's contention that a park ranger who found Samso's body had been hypnotized by the investigators. And, by the way, I'm reading from the Orange County Register. It's close to home. That's why we're talking mostly about Samso.
Yeah.
In 2010, Alcala was convicted of sexually assaulting and killing Samso, as well as Jill Barcombe, who was 18, of Los Angeles, Georgia Wicksted, 27, of Malibu, Charlotte Lamb, 31, in El Segundo, and Jill Parenteau, 21, in Burbank.
El Segundo. That's always a fun name to say.
I know.
Isn't El Segundo a beach? Yeah.
Well, yeah. In 2012, Alcala was extradited to New York after he was indicted for the 1971 murder of Cornelia Crilly and the 77 murder of Elaine Jane Hoover. He pled guilty and in 2013 was sentenced in New York to 25 years to life. Over the decades, investigators linked Alcala to other homicides in Los Angeles, San Francisco, New Hampshire, and Seattle. Despite the passage of time, the community did not forget Samso. In a ceremony in 2014, 35 years after the little girl's death, a plaque honoring her was unveiled at the Huntington Beach Pier, which we are going to have to go take a picture of.
Yeah, actually, I think we did.
No one uttered her killer's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Henry Lee Lucas did everything in his mind.
Yeah, he obviously was.
He was nuts.
Did you? We were watching a documentary on there, and like he actually almost got out. He convinced Henry Lee Lucas as they thought.
He had like an 81 IQ.
The dude was smart. He knew what to do. He wooed someone, got them to pretend to be what was his wife or sister or something like that, and gave him a fake alibi, and then they went and investigated. It turns out it was someone they knew about already. He almost got out of prison.
Yeah. Henry Lee Lucas was happy to confess to anything, and the Texas Rangers were happy to offload the cases on him.
Well, a lot of those cases, too, even when they found out he was lying about it, they basically just wrote it off as Henry Lee Lucas.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's how bad the Texas was, or the Rangers were at the time. Was it when did it was it the early 80s or something like that? Or no, late 80s. That's when they caught him. Early 80s, mid 80s.
Well, everything's glitching right here.
I know.
So yeah, we wanted to do a little extra 30-minute thing going on there.
Yeah.
And guys, give us some ideas, honestly, of some different killers that you might want to talk about. We're going to be talking about Waco and Columbine. And so Waco and Columbine, we may do solely on our YouTube.
YouTube and webpage.
Because these are brutal subjects. Getting a little bit into Columbine real fast. He's not the guy you thought. Like, they tried to portray him as, he's a loner. He hated people. No, he was a fucking bully.
He was a bully. He was a sociopath.
And his plan was always to fuck people up. So, we're going to get into Waco next week.
We are? Okay.
Yeah. We're going to do Waco next week.
David Koresh.
Yep. Not to be associated with somebody with a fake name. And we might get into our mascot's namesake in a few weeks. Heaven's Gate.
Yeah. I was waiting for you to say it.
Heaven's Gate.
If we do that, I think we're going to have to bring other people in with us.
Marshall Applewhite. We are going to be, when we talk about Marshall Applewhite, we're going to bring in some more of our PBDC family, because you can't talk about Mr. Applewhite without having some of us in here. Yeah. So this is going to be more on Eaton Sunday. This is Eaton Sunday. I think we're going to be focusing a whole lot on coming into this kind of social media. And on our website. So again, thank you guys for joining us and dropping on by over onto our YouTube and onto our website. Don't forget to follow us and subscribe, smash that bell, and always go check into the members only, because we have some movies that you're not going to be able to find anywhere else, including one involving one of my favorite drag queens.
I can't think right now.
Divine.
Hedwig.
Pink flamingos.
Oh, that's not Hedwig. That's a different one.
Pink flamingos.
Make sure you guys...
Where there is a true fellatio scene.
Make sure you guys actually hit the bell, the notification buttons on there. That way when we
Ding,
do go
ding,
live on
ding.
YouTube and stuff like that, you get the notifications.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have a wonderful night.
Bye.